Hello, Squirrel Tribe. So first off, before we start anything, forgive all of this. Today it was 89 degrees out with a heat index of 103. It was extremely hot. The weather has been absolutely ridiculous across this entire country. So I spent the day in the pool, which is why we have wet pool hair, no makeup, whatever. But this conversation needs to be had despite this hot mess that's happening over here. I don't know how many of you have seen this, but the gay pride parade that happened in San Francisco was atrocious, and not because of gay pride. That's fine. Whatever you believe in is fine there. But the things that transpired in San Francisco are absolutely ridiculous. And I want to show you this post on X, formerly known as Twitter, from Riley Gaines of a video that it's making its way around social media, and for good reason. So let me show you guys this. Let me first tell you what Riley Gaines had to say. So according to Riley Gaines' post on X, she says, "Call this what it is, sexual abuse of a child. Any adult that publicly walks around nude in front of children is a pedophile." I'm gonna have to agree with that. As a 42-year-old woman, it would never occur to me to be completely naked in front of a child, whether it's my own, whether it's strangers. None of those things make sense to me. So let me show you this video and get your thoughts on it. Now, of course, we're gonna go old school. We're not editing today, so I'm gonna show you, and hopefully you can hear everything that's being said. If there are any issues, hopefully closed caption will be added to this once it's said and done, but I want you to see exactly what was happening at the Gay Pride Parade in San Francisco, California, where good old Gavin Newsom has decided that these things are perfectly okay to happen on the streets of San Francisco.
One question for you guys. I'm a news reporter, so obviously there's a lot of nudity around here, men, women, transsexual stuff going on, and there's kids, wandering around the event. I'm not sure on San Francisco's laws or California's laws, is it legal for nudity to be presented in front of kids?
Nudity is legal, yeah, within certain boundaries.
But what are the boundaries, do you know?
Yeah, anything coupled with a lewd act or anything being done for sexual gratification that involves other people.
Okay, but this event wouldn't be considered for sexual gratification.
No, if they're walking around and it's out, it's right. That'd be different than if they're masturbating or if they're forcing, like flashing people, right? Like trying to get their flash. But no,
even with kids, it's fine to be nude as long as there's no masturbation or anything like that. Yeah. Okay. One question for you guys.
Now, here's the problem here. Hopefully you guys could hear everything. I'm gonna obviously look at this before I post it. If it turns out you couldn't hear it, I will edit it so you can hear it, because what was said definitely needs to be heard. According to the San Francisco Police Department, they're saying that people walking around in the nude in San Francisco is perfectly okay as long as it's, not, people aren't masturbating. It's perfectly fine to walk around nude. Make that make sense for me. So here's some information that I have. So what is considered a public place? Because that was another thing. They're allowed to be nude in a public place as long as it's not sexual. Although not very often is full nudity not considered sexual, right? Now, breastfeeding is a completely different topic. For some reason, people want to consider breastfeeding to be nudity and sexual when technically it is not. It is literally the form of, giving nourishment and milk to a child. That is not nudity. That is not sexual. There have been instances where that has been sexualized, but that's by disgusting, perverted people. But according to this, what is considered a public place? You ready? The law generally prohibits nudity in public places in the United States. Okay. Nudity is also generally illegal on a person's own property if the nude person is visible to the public, such as through an open window or sunbathing naked in the yard. That is considered illegal. If you were on your own property, on your own porch or in your front yard sunbathing, but nude, if people were to walk by and be able to visually see you, that is considered illegal on your own property. Yet, being fully naked in San Francisco, as long as you're walking behind a gay pride flag, is perfectly fine. Now, this is according to AI. I looked up, I said AI, chat GPT, if you will. What is considered legal or nudity in the United States? Because I wanted to see what answer it would give me. And this is what it gave me. Nudity laws in the United States vary by state. Okay, that's true. Some states prohibit nudity in public places, while others allow it under certain circumstances. In general, it's considered indecent to expose genitals for sexual gratification or to offend or alarm others. So here's the question. Why is it that gay pride parades can be fully nude? There are plenty of videos of it running around the internet right now. You guys can look it up on TikTok. You can see it on X. You can see it on YouTube. Not as much on YouTube. They will blur more things there. most of it's blurred anyway, but you can look these things up and see how full-on nudity walking up and down the streets of your city is considered perfectly okay because it's for a good reason. All right. Now, this came up and I have to show you this. Look. Elon Musk is doing his job. You see this right here? This page doesn't exist. This video was a video. Y'all, let me explain to you what happened. So this video was of the fetish compartment of this gay pride parade in San Francisco, where you had to be 18 or older, yet nobody was checking IDs because most people were fully naked or in some weird getup that was basically like an S&M kind of thing, right? I don't even know what S&M stands for. I can't even think what it stands for because it's not what I'm into. So I don't know what it stands for, or BDM? No, that's not right. There's some sort of letters in there. But anyway, there's this whole section of the gay pride parade in San Francisco where it was a fetish section, literally called the fetish section. And people were in there. There was a whole video. They had a kiddie pool where you could get peed on. Where you could be peed on as a fetish in the streets of San Francisco, where anybody looking out the windows of their home, anybody walking up and down the streets, whether it was adults or not, whether it was children or not, could see what was going on. And this video that I was going to show you guys was of a kiddie pool with a man dressed up as, I don't know, something from who is it as YMCA? Village People, literally like all black and like just a junk cover on, was in a pool, and this woman leans over with her butt and pulls her pants down and pees on this man. It was called a pee pool, and that was a fetish. There was other ones of women bent over getting spanked by stuff, and this is on the streets of San Francisco. And you want to sit there and tell me and people like me that California itself is not a complete shithole? You're gonna have to miss me with that, because here's the thing. California, thanks to Gavin Newsom, is so incredibly lost when it comes to morals and anything else. It's absolutely ridiculous. Do you know how many gay people are out there that look at this and go, what the actual hell is going on? Because they're making it seem like all gay people are into this disgusting behavior, which is not true at all. This is a just gross display of lack of morals, of don't give a complete fuck at all. And it is atrocious, because if a woman were to be inside a mall or in a restaurant and pull her boob out to feed her child, to literally give life to a human being that she grew in her womb for 9 months and then gave birth to, in order to sustain them, must feed them from the milk from her breast. If she were to do this in public, she will get ridiculed. She will be told that she needs to put a blanket over herself and her child, and that it's disgusting, that it's sexual, that it's perverted to do this in public. Yet you're telling me you can have a gay pride parade in San Francisco where people are walking around nude with ding-dongs and whatnots flapping around in the wind, and it's perfectly fine as long as they have a permit and they're not masturbating, because it's not sexual at that point. You're telling me that is okay, but a woman literally giving nourishment to her child that she birthed is considered disgusting and deviant and a sexual, I don't even know the right word. All I know is the world we are living in right now is literally, and I've said it before, it's like some kind of completely effed up Twilight Zone that makes absolutely no sense to me. When the left has overtaken common sense and morals and decency and anything like that, I don't understand where we are. And I don't understand how people in 2024, in November 5th of 2024, want to say, we should continue this on. We should have more of this. We should vote to keep this going because we really love the world we're living in. The only people who are going to vote for that are the same people who are bending over in a kiddie pool and pissing on some guy they've never met. The same people who are bending over and getting spanked by some lady they've never seen in their life. The same people who are walking around with their dongs out, hoping that there's children walking up and down the streets, and then teaching them that you can be anything you want to be. What kind of world are we living in? That's what I need to understand. It doesn't make sense to me how we are where we are, where it is legal for these kind of things to happen, but it is illegal or frowned upon in places for women to breastfeed, where it is frowned upon or illegal for anything else to happen that is not even along the same lines of what happened at the San Francisco Gay Pride Parade. Like, where are we as a society, as a people, where this is the kind of degradation and lack of morals that we allow in the streets of our cities. I mean, that is literally equivalent. Actually, it's not even equivalent. It's way worse than if I were to go in the middle of the street here where I live in Okaloosa County, Florida, to go out in the middle of the street, pull my pants down and just shit on the sidewalk. I would get a ticket for that. I would get jailed for that. I would get in trouble for that. But you telling me that because it's a parade and they have a permit that I could have gone and crapped on some guy in a pool and it would have been perfectly fine? Please make that make sense. I do not understand how in the last 4 years, the moral compass of this country has completely gone haywire. How we have gone from being people with some sort of self-respect to having none whatsoever. It does not make sense to me at all, in the least. And no matter how you feel about Democrats versus Republicans versus whatever else, you have to look at the fact that the last 4 years have turned this place into something that you would see on South Park or Beavis and Butthead, not something you would want to see in a general. I don't even know where to go with that. Like, it is mind-boggling to me that this is where we are as a nation. I can't show you everything because YouTube will not allow it. And I don't even know if I really want you to see this kind of stuff because it's stuff that makes you go, that makes you make this face, like literally makes you make this face. But if you were to go on Twitter or X, whatever, if you were to go out on TikTok, if you were to go on just, Google in general and look up gay pride parades or how gay, why are they even putting gay pride and fetish stuff together? Like, why is that even a thing? I don't even understand that none of it makes sense to me. But if you were to Google any of this stuff, you will see the complete degradation of society over the last couple of years. And it is mind-boggling to me how this has become what is accepted, what is considered normal, what is considered okay by mainstream. And here's the problem. I don't think that it technically is, but I think people are too afraid to have the conversations that need to be had. People are too afraid to stand up and say, this is fucking disgusting. This is gross. This is not how this country needs to be run. This is not the things we need to see on our streets when we're walking up and down our streets, when we're looking out the windows of our homes. This is not what I want to see. But because we are quietly complacent, it's allowed to happen. Because we don't fight back to it, it's allowed to happen. And people want to go, I don't want to tell somebody they shouldn't live how they want to live. Screw that. When this is what is happening in the streets of your city, tell them this is not okay. These are things that should be done behind closed doors in your bedroom, in your home, not in the streets for everybody to see. And that is something that people need to really realize and take into consideration and remember, especially when it comes to voting November 5th. Think about the fact that, do you want this to continue on for the next 4 years, or do you want some sort of semblance of morality and decency to come back? Whether you are looking at this from a Democrat/Republican standpoint, you have to look at it from a morals versus lack of standpoint. And that's what it all comes down to at the end of the day. It does not matter if you are left or you're right. It really does matter in what you believe is considered moral versus not. What you consider is okay for your children versus not. What you consider is decent versus not, because common decency has seemed to left the building in the last couple of years, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And you don't realize, I think, when you're younger, how far down this pit hole we have fallen. The older you get, I feel like the more your eyes open and you see things. If I had seen the kind of things from San Francisco that I'm seeing now at 42, if I had seen them when I was 21, it would have confused the crap out of me. I'm not even going to lie. I would have been so confused as, what is this? What is going on? At 42, I look at it and go, this is absolutely disgusting. This is not okay. And I feel like we need more people to stand up and say, this is not okay. So hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying and you agree that this is not okay. It doesn't make sense to me, because here's the problem. What happens in California doesn't stay in California. It will move its way out. It'll hit Nevada, then it'll hit Oregon, it'll hit Washington State, it'll start moving over. Next thing you know, you have these same things happening in Idaho, in Nebraska, all the way into Mississippi, into South Carolina, up into New York, which that wouldn't surprise me, but it's going to take over the whole country. What happens in California does not stay in California. It's not like Las Vegas, which also, thanks to social media, doesn't stay in Vegas either. But keep those things in mind as you think about where you want to be, what side you want to be on. Think about where this country could be in another 4 years versus where it is now. Do you want it to continue down this path of degradation, or do you want it to start a new path of morals coming back? And that's really all I've got for you guys. I love you very much, Squirrel Tribe. Thank you for letting me have this conversation. And I would love your thoughts and comments. Obviously, this is an open communication platform for everybody here, good or bad. I want to know what you guys think. Please leave a comment, contemplate liking the video. If you think it's an important message, share it out. If not, no big, no harm. I love you all immensely, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.